Hey everybody! Welcome to Dino Brickhaven. I'm Dino. What is going on? Good to see everybody. I am going to finish up this build in 3 streams. I've only got technically 2 bags left, so I'm going to do this before the end of the night. Let me say hello to everybody. Hey, Black Roses, Jody, what's going on? Edward Stewart, good to see you here. Edward, hopefully everything's been good. Hurricane is pretty much level with my area out in the Gulf. Oh no. Boy, oh boy. Hopefully everything's good. Toon, Chris W., Andrea, Connie, Raj, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Harry, hi boy donuts to you. If you're out there, I don't think you're out there yet. Just says 2 viewers at the moment, so I'm sure people will come in. I will be playing some OTR, old time spooky stuff. As I put this together. I'm going to show you guys what I did. I completed the second part of this, which is really, really cool. I don't know if the hill is going to beat out this house, because this house just looks so darn cool. Hey, Chris W., good to see you. But I'm going to be playing some old time radio in a few. Hey, Tony. Hey, JLR. Good to see you here. What can I say? I've got a lot of things stacking up that I got to start building. Funhole sent me a little chili dog trailer that I got to put together and cover. It's tiny. It's very tiny. It's like this. But that should go in my food court area. So, chili dog, hot dog trailer. It's kind of cool. Anyways, so stuff is just stacking up. But this set, boy, I'm going to say, is this my favorite build? So far, the antique store, no, Sherlock Holmes was my favorite to build so far. But this thing, I'm just such a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. And I did just build, well, I just opened up the bag 14. And bag 14 had Sally in it. Right there. I think it's a pretty good Sally. I think I would have liked it if Sally's hair was kind of more in a ponytail. I don't know. I kind of like it though. I mean, you can't go wrong with Jack Skellington, right? I mean, you just can't go wrong with him. But Sally, yeah, come on, focus in. So anyways, I got Lock, Shock, and Barrel. I think the last bag is going to have Ghost, the little dog, in the bathtub here. And I did show everybody the very first completed part, and I guess I will show it really quick again. And there's the mayor, who is just so awesome. But let me push this aside a second. This was up. See, stuff's going to fall out. That's okay. That's the first build. And I love the little monster here in this little green fountain. Really cool. I love the dead black tree over there. I love the countdown to Christmas. And in the back and underneath and all that good stuff, there's like a spider hidden in the back of the house down underneath. And a gravestone. And if you take the roof off, there are presents and stockings in there hidden. So that is pretty cool. I like that. And then this one, we started building this, and I had to build some of this off stream. I do not want this to break. I've got to be very, very careful. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Look at the chimney on top. Is that chimney on top not cool how they built that? That is pretty darn cool. And the roof into shingles. And that's kind of the front of the house and how it kind of looks with the gate there. If you turn it around, it's you can kind of see the upper video a little bit better, where it's like off, it's kind of like the shape is just, yeah. Anyways, and then the back of it has the cool, let's see if I can show this. I love the front door. See, I can't tilt it. I should have used the other camera, but oh well. Back of the house has some little Nice little room there, and the Christmas tree down below. And see, here we go. The roof came off, but that should be easy enough to fix. Let me fix this real quick here. This just goes in like this. This goes like this. Yeah, there's got to be an easier way to show this, man, without stuff breaking. Listen, I'm going to be playing something really cool in a second here. Okay, so this is, I think that's the way I had it. If not, I will fix it after. It looks good to me. Okay, so there you go. Anyways, oh, something came off here. Okay, I'll fix that after too. Jeez. See what happens? And then it just connects up here and pops together. So I am going to be making the hill and the graveyard that Jack and Sally stand on. So there you go. Anyways, jeez, I tell you. It's like I need 4 cameras. I need to find a better setup so that I can display all 3 cameras and go back and forth. I should be able to do that. Anyways, let's see. Sally looks great. Don't make such comments, Dino. You heard Sally's feelings. She's in her best spooky dress. I know. Listen. Yeah. Hey, Harry. Good to see you, bud. Just making sure I don't miss anybody. The chimney is cool. Yes, I'm going to have to touch it up because I'm moving it like this and everything. Yeah, I know. Listen, I know. Let's get to old time radio while I build. There are a lot of little tiny pieces here, but I should be able to get through the whole build and finish this up really easy. Since I started building this up, listen, it should make me think of Halloween, right? But I think I'm in the mood. We're going to play some spooky stuff while I'm building this. And it might not take me 2 hours to build the rest of this. It probably should take me an hour. But as I go and talk to you guys and stuff like that too, takes a little bit longer. But let me bring up the chat on my tablet. Okay, here we go. So I can see everybody. And did JLR go? Be safe, everyone. You too. Habboy Donuts. The chimney is so cool. The shiny tiles on the roof make and the texture is so pretty. Yes, it is. It is really, really cool. Again, I wish I could. I'm definitely going to figure out a different way for camera usage. And okay, so I was saying, Halloween's coming up, but I'm doing Nightmare Before Christmas. And technically, A Christmas Carol is kind of a horror story in some spooky way, right? So I think I'm going to play the very first thing I'm going to play while I'm starting to build this is going to be A Christmas Carol. It's only a half-hour one. It's the one by Stars Over Hollywood from 1953, A Christmas Carol. I'm going to play this just because, you know what? I mean, for some reason, I don't know if it's the set or what. I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm in this Christmas mood. Or at least A Christmas Carol. I want to hear A Christmas Carol. Are you Wang Chunging? Tragic Mammal says. What? Who's Wang Chunging? Wang Chung tonight, right? Everybody Wang Chung tonight? Okay, so I am going to play A Christmas Carol. It's the half-hour version. It's the one from Stars Over Hollywood from 1953. And I'm going to get ready and start going on this so that I can finish this and then move on to the next project. And then this is going to be going in the new room, which I will show a video of, take on a tour once it's complete. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I will show everybody. And yeah, you will see all the display pieces. And then there's still the update with the city. So got some videos coming up here soon. And over on the Late Late Horror Show tonight, it's going to be another mystery, spooky mystery kind of night. So timestamps are all in the stream and description below. But here, let me go ahead and get going on this thing as we listen to A Christmas Carol. I think it's perfect for this. So here we go.
Carnation Evaporated Milk presents a star, Mr. Edmund Gwenn, on Stars Over Hollywood. As the author, Charles Dickens, he says,
"Tonight I'm going to write my very best story. It's about Christmas."
And as the character Scrooge, he says,
"Christmas, bah, poor poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December.
From Hollywood, California, where the world's favorite stars live and work, the world's favorite evaporated milk brings you Stars Over Hollywood. Each week, Carnation presents another famous name for motion pictures, television, and radio. Such distinguished performers as David Niven, Virginia Mayo, Rock Hudson. Today's star, Edmund Gwenn, may currently be seen in the filmmaker's production, The Bigamist. Today's story, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, was transcribed in Hollywood for Carnation, the milk from contented cows. Ladies, when you buy milk, buy wonderful Carnation evaporated milk. No other form of milk is so good in so many ways. Carnation.
Carnation for cooking.
Carnation for coffee.
Carnation for baby feeding.
Carnation is good, whole, country fresh cow's milk, concentrated to more than double richness through evaporation. Nothing is removed but water, nothing added but vitamin D. For your coffee, cooking, baby feeding, buy economical Carnation evaporated milk, the all-purpose milk, the milk from contented cows. And be sure to hear Carnation's home service director, Mary Blake, right after the first act of today's story. She'll have worthwhile suggestions for you on that all-important subject, better cooking at lower cost. And now, Act One of A Christmas Carol, starring Edmund Gwenn in the dual role of Charles Dickens and Scrooge. Curtain going up. The scene is old London town on a bleak, cold December evening in the year 1843. Seated behind a table in a drab, cheerless, unheated room is a worried-looking man. He frowns as he scribbles laboriously with a scratchy pen, carefully putting words down on the paper spread before him.
A Christmas Carol in prose, being a ghost story of Christmas.
Mr. Dickens!
Oh.
Mr. Dickens!
Oh, the thing to do is simply not answer it. Perhaps it'll go away.
No good pretending you're not there. I saw you come in.
Oh, dear, I suppose I may as well face it.
Mr. Dickens! Oh, so you finally decided to answer me.
Good evening, Mrs. Bumbletwist. Won't you come in?
No good telling your charms with words on me, Mr. Dickens. Will come from me rent. I mean, that's me rent, and I ain't leaving this room until I ask.
Well, Mrs. Bumbletwist, as you are no doubt aware at the moment, I seem to be temporarily, financially embarrassed.
That's no concern of mine. Come from me rent and...
I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Bumbletwist, but I promise you'll have your rent.
Oh, you've said that before.
Well, now, this time there's no doubt of it. You see, tonight, I'm going to write a story that I hope will turn out to be my very best story.
What's it about?
It's about Christmas. Yes, that'd be the best way to describe it. It's a Christmas story. It seems to me that it ought to start... Now, let's see. Marley was dead to begin with.
I love A Christmas Carol.
There was no doubt whatever about that. Old Marley was dead as a doornail, and Scrooge knew it. How could it be otherwise? Marley and Scrooge had been partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. He was counting his money and keeping one eye on his clerk, Bob Cratchit, when the door opened and Scrooge's nephew, Fred, came in.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Oh, humbug.
Uncle.
Nephew. Keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Well, let me leave it alone, then. Much good it's ever done you.
Well, there are many things, Uncle, from which I might have derived good, but by which I have not profited, I dare say. And Christmas is one of them. Therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Who's that? Are you, Cratchit?
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Another sound from you, and you'll keep Christmas by losing your situation.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. Join us for dinner tomorrow.
Why?
Because it's Christmas, and we'd like you to spend it with us.
Christmas. Blah. Humbug. Scrooge dismissed his nephew curtly and refused the invitation. The door had no sooner closed than Scrooge turned his attention to his clerk, Cratchit, and as the closing hour had arrived, he called him into his office. Yeah, you will want all day off tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It is not convenient. It is not fair. Poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. I suppose you must have the whole day. But be here all the early next morning, though. Scrooge closed the office and walked to his chambers. He opened the door and went in. Then he lit a candle and looked everywhere. Sitting room, bedroom, under the table, the sofa, and the closet. Quite satisfied, he closed his door, locked himself in, put on his dressing gown and slippers, and sat down before the fire. Suddenly, he heard a clanking noise deep down below, as if some person was dragging a heavy chain behind him. But the chains came closer, and squinting into the dimly lit shadows, Scrooge beheld an apparition he immediately recognized. Ebenezer Scrooge. Marley. Jacob Marley's ghost. What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Well, who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
I don't believe it. It's humbug. Humbug, I tell you. Oh, no, mercy. Mercy, dreadful apparition.
You believe in me?
I do. I must, but why? Why do spirits walk the earth, and why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turn to happiness.
You are fettered. Why?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you?
Me?
Or would you know the weight and length of the strong chain you wear yourself? It was full as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago, and you have labored on it since. Oh, yours is a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob, good Jacob, speak. Comfort to me, Jacob.
I am here tonight to warn you that you may yet have a chance and hope of escaping my fate.
Oh, you were always a good friend to me. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
I'd rather not if you don't mind.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1. The second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Farewell, Ebenezer. Farewell.
With these words, the apparition walked backward and faded through the door. Scrooge examined it. It was still firmly locked. He tried to say, but the word caught in his throat. So without undressing, he went straight to bed and fell fast asleep.
And so the curtain falls on the first act of today's radio presentation of Dickens' A Christmas Carol, starring Academy Award winner Edmund Gwenn, and brought to you by Carnation Evaporated Milk. Before we return to the second act, let's meet Carnation's Home Service Director, Mary Blake, who keeps us so well posted on foods and cooking. Mary, what's the good word for the Christmas season on the subject of better cooking?
The word is carnation, Art. This season and all through the year. Because when you cook with Carnation Evaporated Milk, you can count on good results.
I know that. And I know, too, that no matter what the season may be, you're never at a loss for all sorts of exciting ideas to make those good results even better. Savory entrees, delicious desserts, and always with economy.
Well, if my suggestions are helpful, then I'm happy. Sometimes, Art, you men don't realize what a job it is to come up with interesting, appetizing meals day after day and stay inside that family budget.
And that's where you come in, and where Carnation Milk comes in, too.
Yes, because so many of those meals involve the use of milk or cream. That's why I always recommend wider use of Carnation Evaporated Milk. No other form of milk has so many uses as Carnation. In every recipe that calls for milk, simply use Carnation mixed with an equal amount of water. As cream for coffee and soups, on cereals and fruits, in desserts, in fact, for almost every cream purpose.
How many
use
remember
Carnation just as it
Instant
pours from the
Milk?
can. And especially during this holiday
think they
season,
probably
keep
still
in
have
mind that Carnation is perfect for whipped toppings, too.
I mean,
for
like,
pastries,
the old
cakes,
style,
puddings, and
like,
all sorts of festive
powder.
desserts. You'll
Ugh.
find that week in and week out use of Carnation Evaporated Milk can cut your milk and cream bills by 1/3.
Ladies, follow Mary Blake's advice. Enjoy the benefits of Carnation's superior cooking qualities in your home. You'll have tastier, more enticing meals at lower cost with Carnation, the world's favorite brand of evaporated milk, the milk that whips. We return now to the second act of A Christmas Carol, starring Edmund Gwenn in the dual role of Charles Dickens and Scrooge.
When Scrooge awoke, he was aware of a clock in a neighboring church striking the quarter. So he listened for the hour. Finally, it struck. 1 o'clock. Oh, but that's impossible, Scrooge thought. It had been after 2 when he went to bed. Could he have slept clear round the clock? As he was speculating on this turn of events, there was a sudden burst of light. The curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and there stood a strange figure. Like a child, its hair was long and white with age, yet its skin had not a wrinkle in it. And somehow Scrooge knew that this was the first of the spirits of whom Marley had spoken. Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Well, who are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past. Your past.
Huh?
Rise and walk with me.
As the words were spoken, Scrooge and the spirit passed through the window and stood upon an open country road. All had vanished, and with it the darkness, for it was now a cold, clear, winter day.
Is this place familiar to you, Ebenezer?
Well, I was reared in this place. I was born here.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years. Let us go on.
They walked along the road of Scrooge's childhood, recalling every gate and post and tree and incident.
Tarry not here, Ebenezer. There is much to see, and the time grows short. Let us pay a visit now to old Fezziwig.
Fezziwig? Why, I was apprenticed to him. I remember...
Oh, there, Ebenezer, Dick. No more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve. Clear away, my lads. Let's have lots of room here. We're going to have a party for everyone.
Oh, what a good man. What a fine man. How happy he made us that day.
A small matter.
Oh, how can you say that? He was a kind, wonderful employer, a generous...
What is it, Ebenezer? What's the matter?
Nothing. I should just like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now, that's all.
That's enough, I think. Come, our time is up. I must conduct you home.
The next moment, Scrooge found himself back in his bed. And to his complete surprise, the clock was again striking. There was another flash of brilliant light, and the whole room underwent a transformation. The walls and ceiling were suddenly hung with living green. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, great joints of meat, suckling pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, cherry-cheeked apples, juicy oranges, immense cake, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon this throne there sat a jolly giant, roaring with laughter like old St. Nicholas himself.
Come in, Ebenezer, and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before, have you?
No, never. But if you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Good. Touch my robe. There now. Away we go.
Scrooge did as he was told and held fast. Soon he and the second spirit stood outside the humble home of Scrooge's clerk, Bob Cratchit. The family was gathered around the table, and although there was very little to eat, everyone was smiling and laughing and seemed to be having a wonderful time.
There now. Is everyone here?
Yes, sir.
And are you comfortable, Tiny Tim?
Oh, yes, Father. Thank you.
As comfortable as can be expected, I suppose. But come, this is a joyous occasion. Let us all raise our glasses and drink a toast. A Merry Christmas to us all.
And God bless us, everyone.
Tell me if the little crippled boy, Tiny Tim, will live?
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child shall die.
No. No, kind spirit, say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
But what can I do? How can I alter the future?
It is in your power.
Me?
More than you may think.
I?
The clock sounds the hour of 12. It is time for your next and final journey.
The pleasant ghost of Christmas present vanished on the moonbeam, and in its place stood a horrible phantom, draped and hooded. You are the spirit of Christmas yet to come. But although Scrooge spoke to the phantom, the spirit answered not. His replies were only eerie sounds in the night, and he pointed into the blackness with a bony finger. You are about to show me shadows of the things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. I fear you more than any specter I've seen. The night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me, I know. Leon! Scrooge followed the directions of the phantom's pointing finger, and a strange scene unfolded before his eyes. He found himself in a graveyard, walled in by houses, overrun by grass and weeds, the growth of vegetation's death, not life, choked up with too much burying. The spirit pointed to a stone and to the name etched upon it, and Scrooge walked forward and read the inscription. E-B-E-N-Heaven. Oh, no, spirit, hear me. I'm not the man I was. I will not be the man I would have been but for what I have learned. One chance, I beg of you, that I may henceforth honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. One chance, just, I beg of you, one chance. Scrooge put out his hand toward the draped and hooded figure and felt the bedpost in his room. He was in his bed. The sun was shining. It was morning. He dashed out of bed and ran to the window, throwing it open. Hi, you there?
Peter?
Yes, you. What day is today, eh?
Peter? Last Christmas Day, sir.
Oh.
Merry Christmas.
Then Scrooge realized that the spirits had all come on the same night. Perhaps he had dreamed them. But he didn't care to take a chance. No, this was Christmas Day, and there was time to keep his promise. He would honor Christmas in his heart, and try to keep it all the year. He dressed in all haste and started on his way. He sang with the caroliers, wished everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He gave coins to the poor and bought food for the hungry. He sent a turkey to Bob Cratchit's, which was larger than Tiny Tim himself. He bought out the stores of everything good to eat and presented himself at his nephew's home to celebrate a Christmas dinner. And Scrooge's good deeds did not stop at the end of Christmas Day. No, he gave Bob Cratchit a raise in salary and took the welfare of Tiny Tim into his own hands. Through his efforts, the little crippled boy did not die. No, he lived to be as well as you and I. Scrooge became as good a friend, as good an employer, as had ever been seen in any city or town in this good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good at which some people did not have their fill of laughter. No, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well. If any man alive possessed that knowledge, may that be truly said of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us. Everyone.
and a Merry Christmas to you all.
The curtain comes down on the final act of Dickens' A Christmas Carol. This week's Stars Over Hollywood show, presented by Carnation Evaporated Milk, and starring the distinguished actor Edmund Gwenn. In just a moment, we'll have news about next week's show. Meanwhile, how about a curtain call, Mr. Gwenn?
Oh, that'll be fine, now. It's a great pleasure, to me to come back, play Dickens and Scrooge.
We're pleased to hear that, Mr. Gwenn. This is becoming something of an annual Christmas custom for Carnation. And for our part, let me say that you've added another triumphant performance to your long list of successes. We sincerely hope that you can be with us again next year to star in A Christmas Carol.
Well, I shall look forward to that, Art.
Well, Mr. Gwenn, after your heartwarming performance today, our after-the-show ritual of a cup of coffee with our star is all the more appropriate. So let me offer you this one. Cream to perfection with Carnation Evaporated Milk.
Oh, thanks, Art. That's very thoughtful of you. We'll toast to a happy holiday season with it, eh?
Fine idea. And I hope you'll find it exactly to your taste. You know, Carnation is an important factor in making good coffee taste better than ever.
It is very good, Art, yeah. And I'd like to add that it's also very good in, tea.
Yes, Mr. Gwenn, in tea, coffee, and in cocoa, too. Creamy Carnation Evaporated Milk does wonders for flavor and aroma. Carnation, you see, is more than double rich. It has the consistency of cream, and like cream, it's heavy enough to whip.
Okay,
Yet Carnation costs...
I'm not going to continue playing the commercial there. We know Carnation and some... That was a really condensed version, wasn't it? Not the best, but man, I tell you, it really put me in the Christmas spirit. I don't know. I just been really in the Christmas mood lately, and it's Halloween. Not that I'm not in a Halloween mood either, because I just watched another horror movie last night with my daughter. It wasn't a gem, but that's why I should stick to the old Universals. Yeah, I'm getting through this really quick. This is the last part of the build here. Hopefully you guys get a good enough view of that from the video up top here. But here's the beginning of the hill that we're almost done, because I know this is going to go back, as you can see in the front, And then right here, that's going to go in the... And I was talking that whole time. Hold on. How much did you guys not hear? How long was I silent? Oh, I'm so mad. No audio. Dino sound. Tap the mic. Did you hear most of what I said though? Oh man, what is going on? I must have hit it as I was moving stuff around. But listen, I'm gonna do the haunting hour. A corpse there was. A corpse there was. A corpse there was. Mayday also. Okay, so I listen. I'm sure you guys heard some of what I said. So there you go. Anyways, I'm gonna play a spooky one. The haunting hour. A corpse there was. That's a really unique play on that word, right? Of course there was. A corpse there was. I'm going to get through this build, like I said. I'm almost there. I got one more bag, I think, for the tiny little gravestones and ghost. So I think we're going to get done with this pretty soon here. Let me throw this up over here. A corpse there was. Thanks for letting me know about the sound.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment. For this is a time of mystery. A time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour. A corpse there was.
Will you listen to me? I've got to tell it to someone, and, well, I guess you've heard a lot of strange stories. I'm Catherine Holland. It all started about a year after I'd come to work for Martin Reed and Stephen Corey as the housekeeper. Oh, we'd have such fun, the three of us. And Martin was forever making me promise that I'd be with them always. Always. I didn't know how long that could be.
You're only joking, huh, Kathy? You wouldn't leave us. You'll stay with us always, won't you?
Not if you keep doing that, Martin.
Oh, you'll get used to it, Kathy.
Oh, but cutting your own name on a tombstone, it's positively morbid.
I don't see that. If a cobbler can make his own shoes, then surely a stonecutter can make his own monument.
Well, that's true.
After all, a man must do something with his spare time. And you, Stephen, of all people, have no right to scoff at me. Imagine a cemetery caretaker who wanders through the graveyard day and night, talking to the dead.
If the people I met outside the cemetery, my dear Martin, were as interesting as the people I meet inside, perhaps I wouldn't. Since they're our only neighbors along this godforsaken road, and since I must get away from you occasionally...
Now, look here, enough is enough.
Are we going to let her boss us around, Martin? You nearly 60 and me twice her age?
That's right.
We're
You're
gonna let her
42,
boss us around.
aren't you, Stephen?
Yep.
You know, I think for your next birthday, I'll start on a nice marble headstone for you.
Okay, I quit. I resign.
Oh, no, don't say that, Kathy. We need you, Stephen and I. Always before, our housekeepers were stout and rheumatic. You're so young. It was like all at once having the shades pulled up and the windows opened when you came. You won't leave us, will you, Kathy?
No, I won't leave you, Martin.
You promise?
I do. If you promise to take your medicine.
No, I told you, Kathy. I don't believe in that quack doctor. There's nothing wrong with my heart.
Oh, Martin, don't be stubborn.
It's not a matter of being stubborn. I know I'm perfectly all right.
How about those attacks you've had?
They were indigestion.
You don't want to take that medicine because you and the doc have been enemies for years. You won't give him the satisfaction of treating you, even if it means...
Please, Kathy. Don't you think I'm old enough to know my own mind?
But Kathy's right, Martin. You should take your medicine.
Oh, now you start. I'm going for a walk.
I'll go with you.
I don't want company.
Now he's mad.
Oh, don't take it to heart. He'll get over it.
I wish he had...
Sounds like one of the bad actors on Charlie Chan that me and Dave just talked about. Yeah, it sounds like him.
Gone out in this weather.
Yeah. I think it's getting worse. I'll go call him back.
Stephen, what's that noise?
I don't know. But just outside the house. It's our cedar tree. That last flash of lightning struck it. There seems to be... Kathy!
What? Move away from the door so I can see too.
No, Kathy, please. Stay in here a minute. I'll go out.
Oh, I'll go with you.
I think I see something beside the cedar. Come on, Kathy.
Stephen, it can't be.
Yes, Kathy. It's Martin. He's dead.
The tree?
It didn't touch him. He died from the shock of it falling so close. It was heartbreaking.
Strange, isn't it? The last tombstone he ever carved was his own.
Good for you, Al. Good for you.
We buried
We all
Martin
build
the
them
next
at different
evening.
times.
There weren't many mourners.
Awesome.
We lived too
I
far
hope
from
you
town to
enjoyed
be
the
well
build.
acquainted.
This is a really fun
At
build.
last, the few who'd come went away and left Stephen and me alone at the grave. They've all gone.
Your eyes are all red, Kathy.
Do you suppose he likes where we buried him? Right across the road from the house?
I'm sure he does. He can sort of watch us from here if he gets lonely.
It won't be us much longer, Stephen.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't stay here with just you. It isn't proper.
Kathy, you know I wouldn't...
Oh, I know, but what'll people think?
I don't care about people. They're not important.
Well, they are to me. I have a good reputation, Stephen, and I don't intend...
Kathy, don't leave me.
Oh, but I must.
Losing Martin was unbearable, but if I lost you, I'd have nothing left.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
There'd be no one to care if I live or die. If you go, I'll be all alone.
You'll find another housekeeper.
Housekeeper? Oh, Kathy, dearest, don't be such a little fool.
I'm not a fool.
You are if you can't see how much I love you.
You love me? Oh, no.
How could I help it? You're sweet and fresh and lovely.
She goes, oh,
And
no.
I never knew before what joy it was to watch a woman. Anything you do, the way you walk and laugh, even the way you get angry. It's beautiful.
Oh, keep away from me. I don't know what's come over you.
I was content just having you about the house, being near you, but now... Oh, my darling, you mustn't go away.
Oh, please don't look at me like that. Please, Stephen.
Dearest, let's get married. I'll make you happy.
No, I don't love
She
you.
don't want nothing to do with
touch
them.
me. Oh, I like you a lot. I'm very fond of you, but, well, it's not love. I could never love you.
Why, Kathy? I'll make you a good husband.
Oh, no, Stephen, no. You're twice my age.
But I'd worship you, Kathy, dearest.
Oh, will you quit bawling Kathy, dearest, at me like a lost lamb? I'm going to the house and pack my things.
I won't let you go. You belong to me.
I don't belong to anyone. If you don't get out of my way, I'll throw this rock at you.
There's someone else. You love someone else.
No, Stephen, I just don't love you. Don't come near me. I'll throw it, I swear.
Kathy, no!
I told you I would, didn't I? Why couldn't you believe me? Well,
of course she was going to.
Get up! Stephen! He was lying on his back, motionless. I bent over him and... his face, the rocket caught him between the eyes. I couldn't think. I was terrified. I only knew that Stephen was dead, that I had killed him. A murderess, that's what everybody would say. They'd put me on trial, all those faces gaping at me like I wasn't human, and then they'd... No. Had to get out of here. The road past the graveyard. If I followed it, I'd reach the main highway. I'd run. I'd run so fast no one would catch me. Oh, it was dark. The body wouldn't be found till morning. By then I'd be far away. Had to keep moving. Had to. Where could I go? Where could I hide? Flying down the road for hours and hours, till my legs were numb and my heart tearing at my chest, deafening me with its thunder. No, that wasn't my heart. It was a car. They were looking for me. Somehow they'd found Stephen already. Oh, it was getting nearer and nearer. I slipped behind a tree. Not police. Not police at all. Picnickers. Oh, the only ones who might have seen me. They'll forget they even passed this way once they're safe at home. Safe at home. Suddenly, I realized what a fool I'd been. I couldn't escape a police dragnet by running away. They'd never stop looking for me. The best place to hide was at home. Why, of course. I'd gone back to the house from the funeral and straight to bed. Stephen had decided to stay at the grave a while longer. Everyone in town knew he liked to wander through the cemetery, and especially tonight, with Martin just buried. He must have caught a prowler, and the man had thrown a rock at him. That's how it happened. I felt perfectly calm. I turned around and started back. The sky had been cloudy all evening, but as I walked up the road toward home, it cleared. I remember how lovely the moonlight looked, spilling down the steps of the house. I started to climb them. Suddenly, I had an impelling desire to see Stephen's body. Oh, I tried to fight it, but the thought of him, cold and crumpled, lying like some cast-off doll in an attic, hypnotized me. I went down the stairs and started across the road. He had been lying at the foot of Martin's grave, I remembered. From where I was, I couldn't make out the body. Oh, that wasn't right. The old man was buried directly across from the house. I should be able to see Stephen. I slipped through the gate, hurried to where the corpse had lain. It was gone. There wasn't a trace of it. I dropped to my hands and knees, searching about the new mound of earth for some proof that it hadn't all been a nightmare, that I'd really killed Stephen. There wasn't anything. No matted grass where the blood should have dried, nothing fallen from his pockets, not even the stone with which I'd struck him. And it was so quiet, so deathly quiet, with the moon whitewashing Martin's headstone, and the one next to it. The one next to it. But there hadn't been any grave there before. And this one was fresh. As fresh as Martin's. I slowly raised my eyes and looked at...
I shouldn't be interrupting that very big part of this show, but how many have started watching the Universal horror movies? I just started Dracula, and I'm going to work my way all through last night. Got to do it.
Stephen Corey, born May 9th, 1901. Died April 20th, 1944.
Why, I'd know that carving anywhere. Martin was dead. But Martin had made that gravestone.
Kathy stands in the moonlight, staring at the grave plaque of Stephen Corey, a plaque identical with the one Martin had made for himself before he died.
And yet, how could Martin have carved that headstone? He had not made one for Stephen before he died. I knew that. Still, Stephen had been buried, and the date on the monument was right. I felt the answer, but I pushed it back away from my mind. It couldn't be true that Martin had kept his promise even now and had carved the stone. And that these dead who were Stephen's friends had buried him. Had he loved me so he wouldn't make me pay for what I'd done? Did he plead with them to cover him so I'd not be found out? I didn't know. I was paralyzed with fright. I had to get out of here back to the house before I lost my sanity. I don't know how long I lay there, cowering in my bed. At last, the darkness of the night closed in about me, and I slept. But then, out of the darkness, the doorbell rang. Sharp sound, a streak of fear over my flesh. The police had come. Stephen's grave had been discovered. I had to go to the door.
Are you Catherine
This lady
Holland?
can
I'm
tell a
Estelle
story.
Bailey, Martin's sister.
Oh, yes, I should have known. Come in, Mrs. Bailey.
Stephen sent me a telegram this afternoon about Martin's death, and I took the first train out here. I'm sorry if I woke you.
Oh, that's quite all right. Come in. I know it's been a long trip. Perhaps I can fix you a bite to eat.
No, thank you. I'd like you to take me to see the grave right away.
Martin's grave? Now?
Miss Holland, I hadn't seen Martin for 9 years. I'm ashamed of that, and I want to rectify it now as soon as I can. If you won't take me, perhaps Mr. Corey will.
Oh, he's not here. He's in town.
Well, I'll wait up till he comes in.
Oh, you'll wait a long time.
I don't understand.
Oh, Stephen was quite shocked by your brother's death, you know, and, well, he felt he had to get away from this house, so, well, he mightn't be back tonight.
But if he went into town, why didn't he meet me at the station as he wrote he would?
Well, I don't know. Every moment she sat there, she'd think more and more about Stephen's absence. I had to distract her the only way I could. I had to take the chance that she wouldn't notice that other headstone. But if she did notice it, I would have to kill her too. But just then something happened to spare us both.
Oh, good heavens. Oh, look, it's raining again.
Yes, the moon's gone in. It's pitch black outside.
Then there's no use going into the cemetery, I suppose.
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Bailey. What a shame. Finally, she went upstairs. I waited until I knew she slept. Then I took a spade and crept across to the cemetery. It was wet and cold, but I didn't notice the weather. For I had a scheme. A very clever scheme. I was going to dig up someone else's headstone as well as Stephen's and switch the two. I couldn't disguise his new-made grave, but at least I'd conceal who was buried there. It was just before dawn when I slipped back to the house. Mrs. Bailey woke me about 8, and together we went into the cemetery. I came up level with the graves and... Oh, no. No, it couldn't be. Why, I'd switched them last night.
Stephen Corey, born May 9th, 1901. Died April 20th, 1944.
His headstone. Exactly where it had been before. But I had dug it up. There were blisters on my hands to prove it. Mrs. Bailey, had she noticed? No. She'd gone right to her brother's grave and stood staring at it, wiping away the tears.
I'm very glad of one thing, Miss Holland, that Martin is buried a little apart from everyone else. He liked to be alone most of the time, you know. Even in death, he would prefer solitude and being isolated from all the others.
Solitude? Isolated from all the others? But Stephen was lying right by his side. She couldn't see Stephen's headstone. It was incredible, but it was true.
Come, Miss Holland, it's raining. We might as well go now. I'll take the early train back to the city.
After she'd gone, the house was empty, yet full of a screaming silence. And I sat looking out at the grayness of the lonesome day. Had there really been a grave at all? Growing inside me was a grim fascination to see. The mud sucked at my shoes. Through the dusk, I walked determinedly toward that spot where the headstone stood. I slipped through the fence. Then I was standing beside the tree, leaning against it. For I couldn't believe what I saw. There, beside the others, stood a third headstone, and stretching almost at my feet, a freshly dug grave. Even before I crept forward to see, I knew what the plaque would say. Catherine Holland, born June 7th, 1923, dead April 21st, 1945.
Building the graveyard now.
Tonight, April 21st, that was tonight, and I was still alive. Martin, listen to me wherever you are. I said I'd be with you always, but you can't force me to follow you. You can't force me to follow you.
Almost done.
Tears filled my eyes. I took hold of the hateful stone and tried to flatten it into the ground, Then through the tears, I saw the dark bruises on my hands. Bruises on my hands, but, well, it wasn't possible that... I touched one of the dark splotches. It rubbed away. Then the truth went through my mind. I fell to my knees. The letters I thought were carved into the stone. They too were blurred. I drew my finger along my name. It was lettered in black crayon. Thick, archaic lettering, darker toward the middle than at the edges, giving the illusion of depth. Giving the illusion of being cut into the stone. Then that's how Stephen's headstone was made. That's how. I stood up. Fear fell over me like a cold, wet sheet. Behind this adventure was a human being. A being like myself. Then I saw the thing in the grass, sending a tiny sparkle toward the dusk-filled sky, and greedily I picked it up. A copper-colored metal cap from an eyebrow pencil. So that was how the letters had been drawn. That was how this thing had happened. Then I knew who had done it. And even before I turned to look, I knew she was standing there, staring at me, unmoving, a thin smile on her lips, her eyebrows thin, too, penciled on with surety and deftness.
Turn around, Miss Holland. I see you have guessed the truth.
It was you. You killed him.
But do you think my conscience will hurt me as yours does? Would it make your death any easier to know you didn't kill Stephen Corey?
I don't understand you.
I'm telling you the truth. I came into the cemetery just as the last visitor left, and I saw you throw the rock at Corey. I saw you run for the road. You hadn't killed him, Miss Holland. He was only unconscious. But I made sure he was dead before I buried him.
Then you dug the grave here. That spade in your hand
will serve a double purpose. I shall kill you with it.
Just as you murdered Corey. Why? Why did you kill him?
Because Martin had willed all the family property to Corey, with the provision that when he died, it would return to me. I knew if his body weren't discovered, they'd think you and he had run away together. Then I'd have to wait for him to be declared legally dead.
And so you put up the plaque?
I felt sure I could persuade the county coroner to file a death certificate quietly. Then I'd show my lawyer the grave, show him that Corey, too, was dead. But you came back, so I have to kill you, too. Now you know the truth. Your time has come.
That spade, Mrs. Bailey.
It's for you, Miss Holland.
Stay back from me. Stay back.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm not afraid, Mrs. Bailey. You're real. I can fight you.
This will be your grave, and I shall bury you in it.
Give me that spade. Give it to me. Go here. I said that spade.
Cat fight.
Mrs. Bailey.
Cat fight.
My eyes were crowded with flashes of blackness. I lay on the ground, feeling the cold, wet earth against my cheek. Without warning, it had happened. One wall of the grave gave way, and she lost her balance and fell forward into the gaping hole. Dirt from the mound began rolling down, clods of it covering the edges of her long skirt. And she lay still, silenced, at the bottom of the grave. A few wet clods of earth were still slowly tumbling down, as if they had an intelligence of their own, an intelligence that told them to bury the dead. Bury the dead. For she was dead, and she had died instantly. Her neck twisted beneath her loosened, flowing hair that hid the hideous sight of her eyebrows, thin and long. Her neck was broken, and she lay in the grave she had meant for me.
Zero's gravestone doghouse. I love it.
Perhaps, now I've told it, I can forget the horror of what's happened. But not soon. Not soon. One way Martin was right. In my brain, he and Stephen will be with me. Always.
That was a good episode of Corpse. It was a Corpse. It was. That was a really, really good episode of The Haunting Hour. I thought that was really cool. I'm going to play another one. I am almost done. The hill is looking awesome. I can't wait to finish this up. Zero's gravestone doghouse, or what would you call it? Yeah, gravestone, but it almost looks like a small mausoleum for a dog. It's really, really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see. Connie says birdies, and Dino has brick doghouse for the dog spirit. Yes, yes, yes. This is going to look really, really beautiful together. Anyways, I have an hour to finish this. I think it's going to do. I'm almost done. There's a few more pieces, and then I'm done. I'll put it together. I'll show it the best I can. I might switch out the cameras just so that I can get a closer view of everything. So I may do that. Because, oh, jeez, this head keeps popping off back here. Anyways, let me play another one. We'll do Breakdown, The Haunting Hour, Breakdown. How about that? Or should we do Breakdown or Homicide House? Well, let's see. You know what? We'll do Breakdown. Breakdown, The Haunting Hour. Here we go.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment. For this is a time of mystery.
Peter Lorre?
A time when imagination is free.
No, that's not Peter Lorre.
And moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour.
Hugo Carteret? Why, of course you do. The brilliant criminologist and charming gentleman who had such a wonderful flair for solving crimes, which carried a hint of the macabre and savored of the supernatural. He died back in the 20s, and they say that everybody from the 400 of Park Avenue to the 400,000 of the Bowery and Hell's Kitchen came to his funeral. Anyway, Hugo Carteret left his memoirs, and the very first chapter deals with an infamous crime, which in June of the year 1922 threw all of New York City into an uproar of horror. Such was the case of the Lonesome Corpse.
Hey, Stephanie!
Greystone Park used to be the private estate of old Caleb Greystone, eccentric recluse and, incidentally, millionaire many times over. When Caleb died, he willed the estate to the city of New York. The city fathers, properly grateful, promptly converted the estate into a park. It was public in that it was open to the public, but it had a private look because a 15-foot wall of polished stone completely surrounded it. One day, back in June of 22, a big car drove up to the only entrance. In the back seat of the limousine was William Marsden, wealthy lawyer and executor of the Greystone estate, and he had come to inspect the ground.
You wait here in the car, Edward.
Yes, Mr. Marsden. Will you be long, sir?
I don't think that's any of your business. I pay you to chauffeur me around, not to ask me questions.
Yes, sir. I was only bringing up the fact that it's getting dark, and you said you had to be at the plaza by 9.
I'm perfectly able to take care of my own business, Edward. I'll mind mine, and you mind yours. You wait here in the car till I'm through in the park.
What a crabby old man.
Understand?
Yes, Mr. Marsden.
Hey, Joe. Yeah? How do you suppose that big shot lawyer Marston disappeared? Think his chauffeur had something to do with it?
I don't know, Tom.
I don't get it. He tells his chauffeur to wait, walks into this here park, and never comes out. Chauffeur hears a scream inside the park, and that's all.
You're scared too easy, Tom. 9, that's nice. Just broke my shovel. Well, I have to go over to the tool house and get another one.
But, Joe, the tool house is way over the other end of the park.
So what?
It's getting dark. It ain't healthy to be in this place after dark. Let's knock off, Joe. We can finish digging these flower beds tomorrow.
If we knock off, we'll both be looking for a new gardener job tomorrow. Andrew, the superintendent, told us to finish up tonight, and that's what we got to do.
Look, Joe, don't leave me. I got an idea there's something running around this park we don't know nothing about. When I think of that lawyer Marston,
So, you seen ghosts now, huh, Tom? Well, there ain't no ghost or nothing else that can scare Joe Donetti. You wait for me here. If you see a boogeyman, why, just offer him a drink and ask him to stick around, eh? For tool house and never returns. Police call in Hugo Carter at a public demand solution. Get all about it here,
Extra.
Police headquarters, Sergeant Hogan speaking. What? You saw a light floating around in Greystone Park? What kind of a light? Purple, eh? You see anything else? What? A white ghost walking down the park road, eh? All right. Don't get excited. We'll send a squad car to investigate right away.
Hello, Sergeant Hogan.
Oh, hello, Mr. Carteret. Miss Smith?
Oh, I see you know my special assistant.
Of course he does, Hugo. The sergeant and I are old friends. We met at the policeman's ball.
Keeping you busy these days, Sergeant?
Busy? Mr. Carteret, we sure need your help in this case. The commissioner's going nuts inside, and you ought to hear the double talk coming in over this wire. This Greystone Park business has got the people living around there walking around in circles. They're seeing everything from the king of the pixies to the ghost of my great-grandmother.
I don't wonder. I've been working up a few shivers about it myself.
Is Commissioner Williams in, Sergeant?
Yeah. Go right into his office, Mr. Carteret. He's expecting you.
Thank you.
Here comes another screwball report.
Come on, Ann.
Police headquarters. Sergeant Hogan speaking. What? You heard some kind of animal howling in Greystone Park? What kind of animal?
So Joe Donetti left you to get a new shovel, eh, Farrell? And then a little later, you heard a scream.
Yes, sir. It come from far off, and it must have been Joe.
Oh, hello, Hugo. Miss Smith?
Commissioner?
Well, I guess that'll be all, Farrell. Stay pretty close to home, though. We may need you later.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was Tom Farrell, the gardener. Hard to get anything out of him. He's so jittery. He's convinced there's some kind of murdering thing running around loose in that park. So is Mars and the chauffeur. And I'm convinced they're both telling straight stories.
I trust you searched the park thoroughly, Commissioner.
Oh, of course I have, Hugo. Had a detail practically scrape every foot of the area with a fine-tooth comb.
And you found nothing, Commissioner Williams?
Nothing. Until yesterday morning.
Oh, you have a clue?
Yes, if you want to call it that, Hugo. But, well, it's almost incredible. Fantastic on the face of it. Hugo, we need your help badly. We're at our wits' ends down here, and I haven't even asked.
Well, naturally, Commissioner, I'd be delighted. There's a touch of the macabre and supernatural here that I find very interesting. Don't you, Anne?
I'm not so sure.
Now then, Commissioner, you said something about a clue.
Yes. Donetti, the missing gardener, was wearing hobnail shoes. The road was soft from the recent rain, and we were able to trace his footsteps as far as they went.
What do you mean, as far as they went?
I mean those footprints stopped dead in the middle of the road.
What?
Right next to Caleb Greystone's tomb in the center of the park. It was just as though some giant bird of prey picked Donetti up and carried him off.
But, my dear Williams, that doesn't make sense.
Tell you one thing, when it comes to me making this my huge graveyard, this is going to come in handy. There's a lot of easy steps on making gravestones that I'm learning from here. So I'm going to incorporate this into my huge cemetery that's going to surround the haunted house. It's going to be good.
I know it doesn't, but it happened.
Donetti couldn't vanish like that, unless he had wings.
Maybe he does have wings now.
You know, Anne, I can't get those footprints out of my mind. They interest me.
They scare me.
In fact, I think I'll stop in at Greystone Park and have a look at them.
You mean now?
Yes.
Oh, but Hugo, it's midnight, and there's something dangerous roaming around in that park. Something deadly. Why not wait until tomorrow in the daylight?
Because the things that happen in Greystone Park, Anne, seem to happen at night. Well, here we are.
Yes. Peaceful, serene Greystone Park. The place that people just hate to leave.
You should have let me drop you at your apartment, Anne. This is no place for a girl.
Oh, no, Mr. Carteret. I'm going right with you.
Well, here's the gate. It's the only entrance or exit. Let's try it. There. Neatly locked with a heavy iron chain and padlock.
The police want to keep people out, and I think it's a wonderful idea.
Either that or they want to keep something in.
The thing in this park couldn't be stopped by chains or padlocks.
Well, they're not going to stop us either. Here, Anne, I'll boost you up to the top of this stone wall and climb up myself. Come on. There you are. How's the view up there?
Oh, lovely.
Now then, Mr. Carteret, let's see what kind of a second-story man you are. I haven't done this since I was a boy. This wall is higher than it looks. You all right, Anne?
Just dandy.
Well, now, I'll drop down and then catch you. All right, Anne. Just let yourself go.
All right, but don't miss.
There you are.
Listen, what was that?
Only the wind.
Oh, I thought I heard someone calling.
Why, Anne,
You're trembling.
You're telling me. Hugo, where are we going?
Up this road until we reach the place where that missing gardener's footprints stop.
Right next to that big square tomb in the center of the park, according to Commissioner Williams.
Mm-hmm. That's the Greystone Mausoleum. All that remains of old Caleb Greystone, the philanthropist, lies within it. And that's the statue of old Caleb himself, standing on the roof of the tomb.
How nice. I hope you realize that William Marsden and Joe Donetti walked along this same road at night, and they did...
What's wrong?
I felt a cold hand on my face.
That isn't a hand, it's a leaf on the end of a twig. Poor kid. You're frightened, aren't you?
Who, me? I'm scared to death. I'm so scared my hair's standing on end. It's ruined my permanent. Oh.
It's ruined her permanent.
What is it, Anne?
That statue on the top of the mausoleum. The statue of Caleb Greystone.
Yes? Well, what about it?
It moved.
What? Now, wait a minute, Anne.
Hugo, I tell you, it moved. I saw it lift one of its arms and turn its head in the moonlight.
Now, Anne, it's just that you're on edge. What you saw was a mirage brewed out of moonlight and your own imagination. That statue's made of stone. Stone statues don't move. Come on, we leave the road and go down this hollow. Well, here we are. Here's the tomb. And here's Donetti's footprints, just as the commissioner said. They're pretty faint, but... Wait a minute.
What is it, Hugo?
Look up at that statue of Caleb Greystone. Up there on the mausoleum roof.
What about it?
Well, when we saw it on the other side of the hollow, it faced toward the road, didn't it?
Why, yes.
Now it's facing away from the road.
And it did move, Hugo. It did move.
More than that, Anne. While we lost sight of it down in that hollow, it turned completely around.
Oh, the cemetery is going to be so good.
The strange phenomenon of the restless statue intrigued Hugo Carter at no end. Like a hound after his quarry, he scrambled to the roof of the mausoleum and made a thorough examination of both the statue and the roof in the moonlight. He reported his findings to Police Commissioner Williams, and the next morning, in the light of day, they revisited the scene.
You two up there had better be careful. That roof's slippery.
Oh, we'll be all right, Anne. Here, Commissioner. Watch what happens when I grasp this statue.
Yeah, interesting, Hugo. It turns loosely on that upright bar.
Yes. And I've no doubt that old Caleb Greystone is turning down below in his tomb at this sacrilege we're committing on his image. You know what, Commissioner?
What?
This statue isn't marble through and through. It's merely a marble surface on a light aluminum base. A man could lift it right off this support and walk off with it over his shoulder.
Yes, he could. Well, not that it proves anything. But these scratches on this polished stone roof, May, almost looks as though they led to the door of the crypt on the other end of the roof.
It's hard to tell. I tried the door of the crypt last night. It was locked. Yeah, it's still locked.
Hey, it's a massive tomb. Big enough to take care of 20 dead millionaires.
Yes, you'd think old Caleb Greystone would be pretty lonely down there.
And his condition to be lonely anywhere. Well, Hugo, where do we go from here?
Let's have a talk with the park superintendent, Commissioner. His office is over there on the left. Maybe he'll be able to throw a little light on the proceedings. As the old saying goes, you never can tell.
Mr. Andrews, this is Hugo Carteret, the criminologist, and his special assistant, Miss Smith.
How do you do?
Andrews, how do you do?
Oh, yes, I've heard of you. How do you do?
As superintendent of the Greystone Park, Mr. Andrews, we thought you might give us a little information on that tomb.
Always glad to help the police, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. Now then, has that statue of Caleb Greystone always faced the road?
Why, yes, as far as I know.
It doesn't now, Mr. Andrews. You can see for yourself through the window.
Why, bless my soul, you're right, Mr. Carter. Now, how do you suppose that happened?
That's what we hope to find out.
Interesting idea to build a statue of yourself and put it on your own mausoleum.
Mr. Greystone had it made in memory of himself as a reminder to the public that he had converted his private estate into a park for their benefit.
Mm-hmm. Somewhat of an egotist, huh?
And from what the newspaper files say, eccentric. They practically accused old Caleb of dealing in black magic and selling his soul to the devil.
Well, I understand the whole family was rather peculiar, Mr. Andrews.
Well, yes, I suppose it's true. There were all sorts of rumors. Old Caleb was the eldest son, and he hated the rest of his family. Cheated them out of the family fortune, they say. It's said that he drove his own brother Arthur into poverty.
Yes, I remember the case. Arthur Greystone disappeared. Bureau of Missing Persons never did locate him.
Mr. Andrews, that mausoleum out there is a pretty massive affair. Is old Caleb the only one buried there?
Yes. As I said, he hated the rest of the family. He specified in his will that only he was to be buried there.
That wasn't very hospitable of him.
So old Caleb has that whole place all to himself, huh?
What are you getting at, Hugo?
Yes, that's what I'd like to know, too.
Oh, nothing at all. It's just that these cases of abnormal psychology interest me. Yes, Commissioner, they interest me no end. Come in. Oh, hello, Anne.
Hello, Hugo. Relaxing at the piano, I see.
Yes. Would you like me to stop?
No, I like that melody you're playing.
So do I. You know, music brings a certain clarity to the jumbled mind. It resolves things. It's a mental lullaby. Where have you been, Anne?
Down at police headquarters. Poor Commissioner Williams.
Why poor Commissioner Williams?
Every newspaper in town is clamoring either for a solution to this Greystone Park mystery or a new police commissioner.
Yes, I know. It's a pity. You know, Anne, Frank Williams is not only a gentleman, he's our friend. I think the time has come for us to try and crack this case.
The time has come, all right, but how?
Well, we've seen the outside of Caleb Greystone's tomb. It might be interesting to have a look at the inside.
The inside?
Yes. I've got an idea that's where our solution lies.
But how are you going to get in? That door of the crypt on the roof is locked tight.
Well, Anne, if I may boast a little, I have a certain skill with burglar tools.
Yes, I know, but you can't go there in broad daylight and burglarize somebody's mausoleum.
I don't propose to go there in broad daylight.
You mean we're going tonight?
I mean, I'm going tonight. I'm taking you home right after dinner.
Oh, no, you don't. You need someone to hold your flashlight. And besides, I'm just mad about mausoleum. Oh, it's a lovely evening. And outside of this storm, it's just as black.
Oh, look out, Anne. This stone roof is slippery. Careful now. The door of the crypt is right over here. Now keep your flashlight trained right on this lock. But wait a minute. How did that happen?
How did what happen?
Why, the door of the crypt is unlocked.
Unlocked?
Yes. Somebody's been here ahead of us.
Oh, dear. It's awfully dark down there. What are we going to do now?
We're going inside.
But there may be someone in there.
But I'll find out. You wait out here.
Oh, no, Hugo Carteret. I'm not going to stand out here alone. I'm going in with you.
Have it your own way. We'll take this hammer with us. It may come in handy. Careful now. There are stairs leading down into the crypt. You stay close to me.
Hugo, I'm practically hugging you to death right now. Oh, it's cold in here.
Well, it's dry at any rate.
It's dark as pitch. I can't see a thing.
Here, Anne, you take the hammer. Let me have the flashlight. Now, let's have a look.
Oh, Hugo, look. There are two men lying there on the floor. They must be...
Yes. The two men who disappeared in Greystone Park. William Marsden and Joe Donetti.
Are they?
Yes, I'm afraid they are. Oh, poor devils. Nobody would think of looking for them in here.
How were they killed?
They've got deep red marks around their throats.
I'm going to try to switch the
Some
cameras
kind
out
of
real
strangling
quick.
cord.
Oh, it's horrible. Why were they brought here? Why would anybody want to do a thing like this?
The motive, Anne, like everything else in this tragic case, was abnormal. I'm beginning to see now why. Anne, listen.
Footsteps on the roof. Someone's up there.
Yes.
Stop by the crypt door. Hugo, do you think it's the restless statue?
Perhaps. I do know it's the killer. And he's coming down the steps. Put out that flashlight and flatten yourself against the wall.
Good evening. Oh, come now. I know you're in here. I can see in the dark better than you think. I have eyes like a cat. I saw you coming through the trees. I left the crypt door open for you. You walked right in, you fools. You walked right in.
Who are you?
Why, my name is Arthur Greystone. This is the Greystone tomb. I live here with my friend.
So you killed these two men?
Yes, it was lonesome here. I wanted my brother Caleb over there in the casket to have company. He wanted to sleep alone in this big, beautiful mausoleum. It was so selfish of him, so selfish. But now he has two others to sleep with him. And soon he'll have four.
You took the statue of your brother off the supporting rod, didn't you, Arthur? It was light enough to carry. You hid it here in the tomb and posed as your brother's statue. In the dark, your victims couldn't see that the statue was alive. You dropped a cord around their necks as they passed below.
You're very clever, my friend. No, I wouldn't move if I were you. I have the strangling cord here in my hand, and I'm very good at using it.
Why did you do all this?
My brother Caleb cheated me in
I
life.
blew it.
Drove me into poverty. Then he tried to cheat me even in death. He built this tomb and willed that only he would sleep here.
This is your idea of revenge, filling his tomb with sleeping companions.
Yes, I waited years to get even. Caleb wanted to be alone, but now he'll never be alone. He'll never be able to realize his dying wish. Well, this talk has been very pleasant. Yes, indeed, but now we must get to work. I'll take you first, young lady. Please don't try to resist. I assure you I'm very strong. And really, I don't want to make you suffer.
Look out, Anne! I tried to blind you with your flashlight, will you? You fool, I'll hold it. I kill you with my bare hands! Oh, yeah. I'm stronger than you, do you hear? Nice work, Anne. You handle a hammer like a carpenter.
Oh, Hugo, I'm afraid I killed him.
No, you just done
Dang
that's all,
it.
Anne. I'll tie him up in his own cord in a moment.
I don't know why.
But first, let's have a good look at him with this flashlight. Lift that white hood of his, will you, Anne?
Hugo, it's Tom Farrell,
Hugo.
the gardener.
It's Tom Fiegel, the gardener. Is it not?
And so ended the case of the lonesome corpse, and another chapter in the memoirs of Hugo Carteret.
It sounds like me.
Arthur
Case of the
Greystone
lonesome
had disappeared,
corpse.
only to reappear close to his brother's mausoleum as Tom Farrell, the gardener, a convenient alias. And the city of New York breathed a certain relief when this murderer, obsessed and poisoned by his macabre...
Okay, yeah, that was an awesome one, too. The Haunting Hour is a really, really good spooky show. I love it. I love it. But from a distance, you guys, from up there, the video above, looks pretty good, right? I think through the whole build, I've shown you very, very closely how everything looks. So you guys should have seen every little bit. The monster, the builds inside, then the overall build. I would have to say I still think the middle section is the coolest. I mean, the building is the coolest. But my favorite part of this whole entire thing is that graveyard right there in front of the hill. if I can get that to focus. There we go. Is that little graveyard there. It's got little tombstones everywhere, and it's got Ghost and his little tiny cool build of like a, I mean, he can go inside there. It's got a little entrance, like a doghouse mausoleum type thing. It's really, really cool. But the hill is really, really cool too. And I love this is thick enough cardboard that, you know, this should last forever as long as you don't cut it with scissors or something. It's very sturdy. But I do like this third build. But I think every section of this is just cool. This is going to make a great display piece. I mean, look from above. I mean, right here. Look at me, people, up here. It just, look at, as you turn it, how the building is just cockeyed and off-centered, and that's just so Tim Burton. I think spot on. Oh, come on. I think spot on with how everything, you got to be careful though, especially with me tilting everything. You got to be spot on with the way everything is. And I think that front gate there with the stone walls, so cool. I love the little chimney, the way they got that. Don't want to knock anything down, but yeah, I think just, I love the eyeball on the door. The eyeball is just like my streams over on the Late Horror Show. So yeah, this is the best I'm going to be able to show it to you guys. It is completed. The next time you're going to see this is when I give you a room tour of the setup that I got going for all of the pieces that I'm going to display. And then you guys will be able to see everything else, like everything up close. So these all go together in like 3 pieces. A couple things fell off. The fish fell out of the... oh, it's just right up here. I don't know why there's a fish up there. It's really weird. It's doesn't make any sense. But yeah, lots of cool little features. I think this is just an awesome build. I'm finally done. I'm done with it. I'm not sure what I'm going to start building next. I know Funho sent me something that I need to start building. It shouldn't take but one stream to actually build. It's a little chili dog trailer, which is kind of fun, and it'll go in my city in the food court area. So I am going to do that. But I think I want to build a haunted house next as we go to Halloween. I think it's 9/26. We've got just about a month. I'm trying to think what I can build spooky, and I've got a haunted house over there that might be perfect to build, you know, up until Halloween. So, yeah, that's it, man. That's the stream. What do you guys think of it? You guys like it? I mean, I see you guys like it. Pretty darn cool. Looking good, Dino. Good show. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, so I played A Christmas Carol at the beginning. I thought that was kind of cool. Played 2 haunting hours. I thought that was really, really cool. Eventually, I'll build up enough people here. I got 83 views. I've been streaming an hour and a half. I still, in my mind, I debate whether I should have this on the Late Horror Show and stream these right before the stream. You know, but man, I'm just so back and forth on everything. I kind of want this to be its own thing, Dino Brickhaven Lego channel, and it's probably what I'll do. But I'm just so back and forth on like what I should do, you know. But anyways, there it is. You got Santa, Lock, Shock, and Barrel. All the figures look so darn good. And on to the next build. Yeah, the haunted house, Edward Stewart. That will be next. Chris W., thank you for the build. Dino, thank you for the Christmas Carol. So perfect for the holidays. Yeah, you know, well, you know what? That's what this is all about. Dino Brickhaven's just about showing you, you know, everybody being able to, you know, bring out their inner child, and who doesn't still love to listen. Toys are great no matter what age. I put a bunch of minifigures on my Amazon wish list. I don't even have the post on Dino Brickhaven. It's only over on the Late Late Horror Show. But there's an Amazon wish list in the description on the Late Late Horror Show. And I did put a bunch of little minifigures. Somebody did buy me. JoJo bought me a bunch of some of the Muppets and some of the Looney Tunes. So thank you, JoJo, if you watch this. But yeah, I've got this one's the Tasmanian Devil. So I do want to start collecting a lot of the minifigures and put those together. I mean, come on. The Looney Tunes, I've got to have these. And the Muppets. And the Muppets, too. But this is the face of... Let's see, can I show real quick? This is the face of the Looney Tunes, Tasmanian Devil. I got to put the whole body together, but, it comes in pieces. I'm not going to put it together now. But, yeah, look at that. That looks pretty darn cool. But I did put those up there, and those are a lot cheaper than any of the Lego sets and stuff like that, if you wanted to. So, anyways, I'm going to have to put that together right away after this. So, yes, thank you, everybody. Overkill with an O, Chris W., Sweet Indigo, Edward Stewart, Connie. You guys all know who you are. I think as I go and start saying names as I'm leaving, I'm like, I'm going to forget somebody. William Crow. Yeah, see? Lizzie. Harry. How could I forget Harry Scott? So yes, there you go. Another build in the books, and I can't wait to show you guys the updates. I think I am going to be doing some short little videos I'm going to upload of certain parts of the city I've been working on and some updates and stuff. So stay tuned for that on this channel. And then, of course, the new live stream, which will come... Today's Thursday. Friday, tomorrow night is movie night. And thanks again to Connie, who has picking up the slack for the Late Late Horror Show and put up the movie nights. We are going to have some get-togethers coming up really soon. I do plan on having a Halloween costume party. Whether you come in costume or not. It is going to be on the channel, so anybody will be invited there. So I've got some fun stuff coming up on the Late Late Horror Show. And hopefully I could do something special here too. But I think just doing these streams, building them, and the haunted house being next is going to be cool. Yeah, I don't know why this ain't fitting together properly. There's something wrong. I'll have to figure that out there. But anyways, thank you guys all for being here. Much love to each and every one of you. Let's see, Dino, I'll let you know about sending some of the figures and Dead Black Trees. Dead Black Trees? Oh, Connie, that would be awesome. Listen, I need plenty. It's one of the things I need for the city. I need things like, especially for the cemetery part of the, figures. I need many figures. But thank you, Connie. I really do appreciate that. I can't wait to put the skeleton ones together. That'll be in the cemetery itself too. See, that's the other thing. It's like, should I work on trying to build the cemetery and show you guys that? So we'll figure it out. But maybe Saturday. Although I do want to do a paranormal show coming up soon too. So yeah, I guess it's just time to go. I can't leave you guys go, can I? Thank you guys for all being here for this Dino Brickhaven Lego channel that I started up here. And I really do appreciate those who came over from the Late Late Horror Show and that are here and support me. So thank you guys. Memberships coming up. Listen, I've got to get so many hours in before I can do that. It's not really a big deal, but it is cool to have like memberships and stuff. Just, it's kind of fun. But anyways, and it helps support everything I do. I'm trying to do a Lego channel too. And Funho's going to be sending me something else for the end of November. End of November, there's another item that I'll be doing, and the chili dog stand. So I think I'm going to be doing the chili dog stand as a live stream putting it together. It's only like, you know, very small. So anyways, I will see everybody over at the Late Late Horror Show for a spooky mystery night. Timestamps in the description, so you guys will see that. Much love to you guys, and